Luke 6:46 says, "But why do you call me Lord and not do the things which I say?" Who were these? These were churchgoers. These were apostles, anointed, spirit-filled. And let me say this to you, this is where the human soul begins to resist. Where you know who he is, yet there is a resistance to do what he's asking you to do. There's a resistance in the human soul. Why? Because it is one thing to submit to a distant authority, but it is another thing entirely to surrender the inner working of your life. Why? It is easier to follow a politician and an influencer and a motivator than to follow Jesus, is because it is easier to submit to a distant authority. But it is another thing entirely to surrender to a throne that must be established here. It is another thing entirely to surrender the inner working of your life. It is easier to celebrate a king who remains outside than to yield to a king who demands to reign within you. That's why it's hard to follow Jesus. His center of throne is in us. He's not seeking a parliament. He's not seeking a place. He's seeking the soul of man. And this is the tension in the human soul. And that's why the same crowd that shouted Hosanna on Sunday could shout crucify him by Friday. Because even though nothing has changed about Jesus, what changed was their realization that he was not going to meet the expectation. They wanted a king who could govern from the Roman throne and just watch over everything and bring peace and relief and prosperity to the land, and they will continue to live the way they want to live. But they didn't realize he was a different king. And so when they discovered that he would not conform to their agenda, their admirations turned into rejection. And the issue was never the volume of their shout. They shouted on Palm Sunday, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. The whole city was shaken. But on Good Friday, they shouted equally loud, crucify him. So it was not how they were expressive towards what they wanted. Problem was not in their shouts. Problem and issue was in the understanding.